Today we're looking at another interesting keyboard, and this one has even more interesting name. Hey guys, welcome back to How It Says channel. My name is Ivan and today we're looking at the Boyi TK96. Yeah, I know it's a funny name. I saw it on Amazon. I saw some of the features and I was very intrigued to see and check out this keyboard. So we're gonna look it out today real quick. We're gonna do the unboxing. We're gonna hook it up to a computer. We're gonna see some of the functionality. This is one of those keyboards that it's full size, 100 keys keyboard, but it offers a very small footprint. So if you're using a small desk or if you have multiple keyboards on your desk, just like myself, you're gonna find yourself liking this one because it will save you the space and at the same time, it's not gonna rob you from any functionality. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and unbox this RGB keyboard and we'll see what it's offering inside the package. And at the end, as always, we're gonna talk about it in conclusion. So what's inside the box of the Boyi TK96? Every time I say this company name, I just wanna make fun of it. I mean, seriously, we couldn't come with something more unique. So the box looks really nice, kind of a premium actually looking, with not a lot of information about the product inside, outside of you know, the email of the company and some other information, color type C, which it doesn't really tell us what it is, but we already know this one comes in several different color combinations, and the one I bought is the one with the darkest keys, or combination between kind of a blue, yellow and green. A little message from the company: the world is his who enjoys it. Okay, very inspirational. We have a small but very nice looking, printed in English, a user manual with the different colors here. You can see the different type of color combinations here for the keyboards and the key combinations to change the brightness, to change the different RGB modes and all that stuff. So here's the keyboard. I'm gonna take it out of the box real quick and put it to the side. So we will see what else is included. Two smaller bags here, and inside these two smaller bags, one of them keycaps extraction tool, which is branded by the company. Very interesting. This actually costs money. It's not cheap to make. And key extraction tool for you to remove the actual keys. So the functionality kind of doubles. On this side to remove the keycaps, and this one will remove the actual keys, and they give you a 4 extra yellow mechanical keys. This is the first time I'm encountering yellow keys, and from what I can see right away and feel, they have almost the same tactile feedback of the red keys while being slightly even more silent. So maybe I will really like these keys because the red keys are my favorite. And what we have here is the cable, and the cable is coming with hook and loop strap. One side is USB-C, great, no micro USB anymore, and on the other side is regular type A. But what we have here, they have created this tiny little compartment kind of attached to the end of the USB, which is housing the receiver for the wireless functionality, because this keyboard not only is wired, it has also wireless and is Bluetooth as well. So triple functionality for all of you that prefer to be connected wirelessly or wired like myself. So if you're not using it wirelessly, you can store your receiver right here. I'm not sure how much this is gonna stay. Maybe you can detach it. Yeah, you can detach it from the cable and just store it somewhere else. But it's a nifty way to give it to you in the package. That's the first time I've seen it, and I appreciate it. Small, really high quality made. A USB end here on the cable. Cable is fairly soft and kind of thin, not the softest I've seen. It's not braided, and the length is 5 feet per usual. But the good thing about these detachable cables, and I've mentioned that many times before, you can replace it with the cable you like, or you can buy the longest you want or the shortest you want and tailor it this way by yourself. You don't have to be confined by what they're giving you out of the box. But this is a great cable to start you off. It's not thick and it's not hard to bend. So this is a good option right here. Now with the accessories out of the way, let me take the keyboard out, and you will see right away that this keyboard is fairly compact, considering there's 100 keys on this keyboard. They're kind of cramped together. There's no big space here between the numeric pad and the actual keyboard. So they worked smart around utilizing all the space. They moved the print screen, the del, the insert, and hold button right here on the top. They shift down a little bit the numeric pads, but we are retaining all the functionality. We have the enter, the plus and the minus. Here is the noise. So for me, they sound slightly more silent than the red keys, and the tactile feedback is about the same. I know a lot of games tend to use full keyboard, including the numeric pad. So this is a good option for those of you that want to save some space on your desk, and at the same time, you don't want to rob yourself from functionality when you're playing your favorite games. The USB port is located here on the left side, far corner left side of the keyboard, which for me, it's not ideal. It's not 100% perfect. I mentioned that many times before. I prefer middle placement, maybe you're in the bottom, and you can route your cable to the left or to the right, depending on where your monitor is and depending how much you want to avoid stuff that it's on your desk. But being so compact, it's not that big of a deal. At least it's not on the side. It would have been a little less convenient, but right on the top, I think that's good enough. On the bottom side, we have the company logo right here in branding. Nothing on both sides, and if we flip it around, again, we have the company sticker branding and tiny bit switch toggle right here to on and off for the wireless functionality or the Bluetooth. And we have a sticky rubber feet, which are the same size all the way through. Now the biggest problem here, and again, I'm saying a biggest problem because a lot of people like different angles on for their hands. The rear feet cannot be extended, cannot be raised, so you're stuck with one level of that keyboard. So when you place it down on the desk, now the keyboard is not going anywhere. I'm applying a lot of force to it, and it's shaking my whole camera setup, but the feet are very sticky. Just remember that this is what I'm talking about. If there was a raised feet on the back, the keyboard would have propped a little bit higher. A lot of people like that comfort. For me personally, it's not that big of a deal because the way the keyboard itself is made, it's slightly higher elevated. So the angle between my wrist and my fingers, it's not going to be uncomfortable. We have full-size shift key on this side. On the right side, it's slightly smaller. The enter key is not the L shape, but it's the rectangular one. And overall, I think the keys have slight indentation, which I like. They're not slippery. It looks like the ABS plastic is very rugged. It's one of those matte plastics instead of these shiny ones. So that's going to take a little bit longer time for your fingers to go through the matte and shiny it up. I really love the color combination. I think they really popped with the yellow, with this kind of a dark teal or more of a blue colorway. With these black main keys, I think easily you can distinguish which keys are which. Your escape button is a different color, so there will be no confusion right there. And if you don't like to turn on the lights, you're still going to be able to easily identify what keys are what. Now, I really like what Boyi are doing here with this keyboard, giving you extra keys, because if you're using a keyboard extensively over time, these mechanical keyboards, it depends how much you're hitting the keys, you might damage or kind of malfunction one of the keys. So having some extra will give you an option to pull the keycaps and pull the keys easily, replace them, and off you go with no problem. Having 4 of them, that keyboard is going to last you for a while. Placed under $100 currently on Amazon. I think that's a great option for those of you that are looking for full-size keys, but a small size footprint of the keyboard. Now, per usual, we're going to plug this one in, see some of the RGB options, see if we can have a unified color, which is my personal preference. I'm not a massive fan of the RGB on keyboard, but I like to have a unified color to match the builds of my current computer. So just a second, we're gonna plug it in and we'll see how it looks. So now with the keyboard plugged in, we're gonna check out a few things. You'll see how the cable looks right here. So not too intrusive. I really like it. I'm gonna tone down the lights a little bit, maybe give you a better chance to see the RGBs. That way you kind of make a decision if they're bright enough for you or not. If you're seeing flickering, this is from the camera. It's not from the lights itself, but now it's doing this kind of a by default blinking motion. And to turn them off, you can use FN and backspace. So this turns off the lights. It leaves only one here in the corner, which I kind of like, kind of indicates where the keyboard is. Hopefully you guys can see this. And FN and backspace turns them back on. So if we press FN and tilt, you'll see the different light options right now. We have the blinkings. I'm not gonna name them all. Of course, the obligatory snake. These are the ones you hit and they light up. So many options here. We got the wave, different waves, the pulsating, the breathing, lights up the roll when you hit it. So all these RGBs you guys seen many times in other brands and other reviews that I've done. So they're all present here. If you have a favorite, you can go ahead and use that one. You can always lock the Windows key by FN and Windows. FN and Windows unlocks. You can increase and decrease the brightness. This is the lowest, up, 2, 3, 4. So it's off, and for brightness, this is the highest brightness. Now, hopefully the camera picks up enough of the light to give you an impression of what kind of brightness you're looking for. But personally, I think they're pretty bright, highly visible at night for sure. So if we do FN and enter, you'll see this gives us the highly desirable by me single color. So the combination between FN and these buttons right here gives you the increase and decrease of the animation. Once you find the animation you want to stick with, you can go and select the different color. That way that same color will stay across. So now I can cycle through the different color options and have them matching the internals of my case. I cannot think of anything else more that I would like. Maybe just the different game modes. If we go to the extent of, let's light up only W, S, A, and D, and some other color combinations here. But realistically, I'm not really missing that combinations. I know instantly where W, S, and D keys are, and if I'm playing in the dark, I'm gonna have the backlight on anyway. Maybe I would love to have a dedicated volume buttons right here or somewhere on the side. What can I say at the end? I really like this keyboard. Let's talk about it in the conclusion. All right, conclusion time. And what do I think about the Boyi TK96? Well, aside of the funny name, I think this company and this keyboard have done some very interesting things that are covering the majority of the customers out there. And I really appreciate all the functionality brought down here under $100 for this specific model. What I really liked over here is the capability of this keyboard to be connected in multiple ways, wired or wireless. Personally, if you guys seen my previous videos, and I'm always on the search of the perfect keyboard, for me, wired is always a must because of the latency, and I'm not a huge fan of charging multiple devices all the time. Despite the fact that this one has 3500 milliamp hour battery inside, which is quite large. Actually, is the biggest I've seen in these keyboards. Normally they put like 1300, 1500 hour battery. This one has 3500, so you can probably expect here a month, maybe month and more, depending how long you are using the keyboard during the day. Still, I prefer wired, just to plug it in and off I go without worrying about anything else, and of course latency during gaming. But if you don't like that, if you like to be wireless, or if you're standing in a significant distance between your computer or console and your screen, you have the wireless option with the dongle, and you have the Bluetooth 5.0 as well, which is excellent to see. Minor negative on the wireless adapter is attached to the cable. I wish ideally that the keyboard had a case or kind of space inside or on the back side where you can slot that wireless dongle. That way you can mitigate maybe losing it, because if it stays attached to the cable, this attachment, as great as it looks, comes off pretty easily. So keep that in mind. You don't want to lose that, otherwise you're going to lose 1/3 of the functionality of the keyboard when it comes to connectivity. The rest of it I really like. We have RGB, multiple modes, multiple options. A lot of you like that. But on top of that, they have single color option backlights. If a lot of your friends are complaining that they can hear your keyboard through Discord or any other software you're using for communicating between each other, this one will be very silent, and at the same time you're not going to miss the red tactile feedback too much. This is the first keyboard model that I'm testing with the yellow keys, and long term I'm going to see how this one is going to pan against some of my other favorite models that I'm using across multiple computers. What can I say? I think for under $100, and if you're looking for something to cover you across offices, gaming, typing, and everything else without losing some of those keys and still deal with a smaller space, this will be a great option for you to grab and use. Another minor negative that I mentioned is the back feet cannot be raised. And I'm not sure how many of you are actually using this functionality. I'm using them on some keyboards that are really flat and they're kind of small footprint, but this one has a natural slope towards the back. That means they are slightly raised, so comfort maybe it will be good for you. Only long term will tell you how that angle actually is working for you, and when your wrists are propped up or slightly down. All that comes to a personal preference. Every person is different. Everybody's hands are different. So how is that going to affect you? You're going to have to make that judgment. It's very subjective. That's it. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Check out the link in the description below if you want to support the channel directly. It helps me tremendously to bring you products like this on the channel so I can review them and show it to you. And as always, guys, you have a wonderful day.